The courtroom smelled faintly of paper and polished wood, the kind of place where truth was supposed to shine but often got buried under fancy words and tailored suits. Ethan sat silently, his fingers clutching the edge of the table, his heart pounding like a drum trapped inside his chest. His eyes were fixed on the small photograph he kept hidden in his palm. His son, Jamie, smiling wide with ice cream smudged on his nose. That picture was his anchor, his reminder of why he was here. Across the courtroom sat his wife, Melissa. Her face was cold, composed, and distant, a stranger behind the same eyes that once promised forever. Next to her stood her lawyer, a tall woman named Victoria Langford, dressed in a crisp gray suit that looked as sharp as her words. Everyone in the courtroom seemed to lean toward her when she spoke. She didn't just argue, she commanded. When the judge entered, everyone stood. The sound of chairs scraping against the floor echoed like thunder. Ethan's knees felt weak, but he forced himself upright. He had come too far to break now. The hearing began. Victoria rose gracefully, her voice smooth but firm. "Your Honor," she began, "this case isn't about punishing anyone. It's about protecting a child who deserves stability, structure, and safety. My client, Mrs. Melissa Carter, has provided all of these things. Mr. Carter, while I acknowledge his efforts, has demonstrated instability and questionable decision-making." Ethan's stomach tightened. He wanted to object, to defend himself, but his lawyer whispered for him to stay calm. Victoria continued, her tone sharp but calculated. "In the past year, Mr. Carter has changed residences twice, lost his job, and failed to provide consistent care for Jamie. We have evidence of missed school pickups and late medical appointments. We're not questioning his love, Your Honor, but love alone isn't enough to raise a child." Ethan's throat burned. He wanted to scream that she didn't know the whole story. He had moved because he was chasing work, trying to keep the lights on. He had missed pickups because of extra shifts. Every mistake she listed was born of desperation, not neglect. When it was his turn, he stood slowly. His voice trembled, but his eyes burned with sincerity. "Your Honor," he began softly, "I'm not a perfect man. I've made mistakes, but every one of them came from trying to be there for my son. Jamie's my world. When I lost my job, I took whatever work I could find. Sometimes that meant long hours, sometimes it meant moving where I could afford rent. But I've never let my boy go hungry. I've never stopped loving him." Victoria's eyes flickered, not with sympathy but strategy. She stepped forward smoothly. "Mr. Carter," she said, her voice deceptively gentle, "you say you did everything for your son. Yet when you were working late, who was actually there to tuck him into bed?" Ethan's heart stopped. He could see what she was doing, twisting love into failure. "My mother helped," he said quietly. "Jamie loves her." "And your mother," Victoria continued, "is 72 years old and in declining health, correct?" Ethan clenched his jaw. "She's strong enough to care for him." Victoria nodded slowly, then turned to the judge with an expression of concern that looked rehearsed but convincing. "Your Honor, while we appreciate Mr. Carter's affection for his child, it's clear his current circumstances cannot guarantee Jamie's well-being. My client provides not only a home but stability and emotional consistency." Ethan's lawyer tried to interject, but the damage was done. The courtroom felt colder now. Like every word Victoria spoke froze the air around him. As the hearing dragged on, Ethan's mind drifted to Jamie's laughter, to the nights he'd sat by his bedside reading stories, to the mornings when Jamie would sneak into his bed whispering, "Daddy, I'm hungry." He wasn't fighting for pride, he was fighting for those moments. When the judge finally spoke, his tone was calm, but heavy. "I've heard both sides carefully. While I commend Mr. Carter's efforts, I find that Mrs. Carter's current situation better meets the child's immediate needs. Custody will be awarded to Mrs. Carter, with visitation rights to Mr. Carter every other weekend." Ethan felt the words slice through him. His breath caught in his throat. He wanted to shout, to plead, but all he could do was sit there, numb, broken, silent. Melissa looked at him for the first time in weeks. There was no victory in her eyes, just sorrow, maybe even guilt. But it didn't matter anymore. The gavel fell. The sound echoed like the shattering of a soul. When the courtroom emptied, Ethan stayed behind. He opened his wallet and stared at Jamie's picture again. The same smile, the same little nose with ice cream. He whispered softly, I'll still be there, kiddo, no matter what they say. Outside, rain began to fall, tapping against the windows like tears from the sky. And though he walked out alone, something inside him refused to die. Because love, real love, doesn't vanish in courtrooms or under signatures. It stays. It waits. It fights. And one day, he promised, his son would know the truth, that his father never stopped fighting for him.